We're back this afternoon with our 9 News mental health expert, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler. And this afternoon, we are talking about mental health during Pride Month.
And why it is so important to talk about pride with your kids, even if they're not LGBTQ+. And I think that right there is definitely what we're going to underscore. Why, in your opinion, as a parenting expert, should we have these conversations with our kids?
Yeah, it's really about the data. And so the data says that, first of all, if a parent is thinking, well, maybe Pride Month doesn't apply to me or my family, there's a good chance it actually does apply to you and your family. You just don't know that yet. So let's just say, though, it really doesn't. When you talk about Pride Month with your kids, what you're building in them is empathy, compassion, understanding, inclusivity. I could go on and on. It's the same thing as talking about race and other kind of tough topics or people who are different from us. So it's easy. You just say, oh yeah, you could be anywhere at the grocery store. Oh, did you notice all the, the rainbow flags? You know what that means? Again, how I like to start with what do you know about that? Just start off with, what do you know about that? What do you think the rainbow flag means? See what they say. Maybe they have the right information and they're going to teach you. Maybe they don't really know very much. And then you could just talk about it for a little bit. It also teaches kids down the road that when there's a hard conversation, this is what we do at our house. And it's okay and it's no big deal. So there's a lot to be said if you think this does not even apply to you in any way, of all the positive outcomes that come from it.
Can I ask you, what is the proper age to start having those conversations? My daughter and I went to a musical recently, and there was an LGBTQ plus couple, and there was a kissing scene. I was like, oh, this is cool. She's seeing this for the first time. But then my second thought was ooh, but I haven't had a conversation about this with her. Is it too early? I mean, just navigating this stuff, right? When do you start?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So kids are observing things all around them, right? On media, just walking down the street kind of thing. So I think, once your kid, to me, 5 is on the young side, but 6, 7, when they're in school, there's going to be someone in their class who's I have 2 dads or I have 2 moms, right? And you don't want your kid to be what? And they might be sitting there what? I've never heard this. Then but what you want is you want to build the home where they come up and they go, hey, so-and-so said in class today that they have 2 dads. 2 people have 2 dads, and you go, oh yeah, we've never talked about that. The way I talk about it with those younger kids, K1, 2, is just sort of there's so many different ways that families are made, and there's so many different ways that families look. And that's such a great opportunity to talk about. Some people are raised by grandparents. Yeah. Some people are raised, by 2 moms, 2 dads, a single parent. Yep. So it's just a great inclusive conversation for the real world, what the real world really looks like.
I love that. And I know. Right? And I love what you said earlier about just opening up that door so they know you're a safe space. So speaking of which, what do we know about LGBTQ plus youth and their mental health?
So this is where things get really sobering. So we know that if there are kids that don't feel accepted just in general, they are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide. But if specifically their parents or their family does not accept them, they are 8 times more likely than their peers to attempt suicide. So we know depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts is very high, in particular with this group. So this is where families really matter. A parent's objective on this, or the way they present what they think about these kinds of issues, really actually could be a matter of life and death. Oh.
And we don't have that much time left, but I think you have to answer this question before you leave. If parents are, dealing with this, or their child comes out to them, they think that might be happening soon, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, so what I'll say is you don't have to have all the answers. So you navigate it by saying, hey, lately I've noticed that you have something you have to talk to me about, or you might want to. They'll tell you a little bit, and then you can say, I don't know all the answers, or thank you for sharing that with me. And let's talk about this more later, or I want to think about this. Let me sleep on this. Give it space. You don't have to know all of the answers.
It's important to know. Dr. Ziegler, thank you. We appreciate you.